that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that night that our flag was still yet. Oh, hey, for the land of the
All right. Hey now, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to your new Thursday night ritual. Well, it's been your Thursday night ritual for those who have been listening in for several weeks now. Glad that you're back here with us, and welcome to episode number 7 here tonight of the False Count Everywhere podcast here on the Lime Time Podcast Network. Hello, everybody. Sorry if you were listening in the beginning. Of course, once again, as every week fails and every week cannot happen next week, and I'll explain that here in a minute. But at least we're back on and ready. Finally, we got the audio on right in the middle of the national anthem, probably scaring the bejesus out of your pets. So sorry about that. But anyway, just want to let you know, my name is Rough Cut Rick Ruby. We're throwing on some new little graphics here for you this week. I am your co-host and your MC here for this week's episode. And, of course, the other co-host, sitting comfortably once again, still engulfed in that book because he loves reading my experiences off and on with the contiguous chair shot, and I'm sure he's found more, he's probably found some more dirt.
So,
the cheap guy.
So it wasn't you this time.
Wasn't me this. What do you mean? How? When am I cheap? When am I cheap, GQ? Just saying. All right, don't answer that. Okay. So anyway, that's Mr. GQ, Matthew Wayne Schuyler III. That's the other co-host and professional wrestling manager extraordinaire, and that's who we are here this week, as every week. But we thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we're going to get to some things here off, but wow, you seem to impress me here, GQ, with your different backgrounds each week. Me, I've got my my same background every week, but you went from like 70s hotel curtains to I forgot where you were last week, and now you're you got a little friend there with you this week.
This is to keep the butcher away from me. I know how to bribe him. So
You know, so he doesn't get near you, huh? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a smart move. But, yeah. But we're going to we just got a few things that we're going to touch on here, and then we will get underway to our little discussion here of some oddball situations here that we usually like to bring up. Just as a reminder, tonight is our featured guest, the Butcher, Damian Blade. He'll be coming on here in about 20 minutes here with us, and to our most and main part of the show. And we've got a lot to discuss with him with his 22 years being in this industry, and he has done quite a bit for himself. And but that's coming up here in about 20 minutes or so, and we'll talk about some other things coming up here as well in the next coming week.
I was going to say, with the Blade tonight, we had that one Mark send in all those pictures and all that. Good Lord, it was like a history of Damian Blade. I swear he might have been stalking him at some point. So
yeah, who knows? All I know is when things get to the internet, they stay on the internet, and they're very rarely ever taken down. So once it's on the internet, you're pretty much stuck with facing that truth. So, oh my. We'll have a call-in number here, but if everybody does call tonight, and I don't have the graphics yet for it, 314-764-5540. There we go, 314-764-5540. That is our call-in number, and we definitely welcome everybody who wants to call in or at least chime in and kind of speak with us, and then like I said, we'll have a lot to talk about with the Butcher for sure. So let's kind of get to brass tacks here regarding the news this week. WWE have put out a revamped, yet again, another revamped championship. This time, I'm going to bring it up here to you guys. This is the new WWE United States Championship belt. Didn't know what to think about it at first because someone sent a blurry picture to me. It almost looked like it was a bird wearing sunglasses, but now since I got a clearer picture of it, it's a lot better than what I thought it had been. Well, I'll tell you what, it's a lot better than what some U.S. titles were, including the one that span. And then, of course, the recent belts, which I still do not like the Intercontinental belt for the life of me. I just don't like it. But that's what we have right here is with the U.S. title. But I do like the stripes behind the eagle out there, and it's nice dual plate. And I guess WWE, GQ, they're trying to get away from like the nameplates. I guess they're just trying to revamp everything to where like the side medallions are, they're going to put the superstar's name in those side medallions where the WWE logo is.
Yeah, it's probably more efficient because they also sell the same medallions to the fans as well, because there's a lot of fans that try to collect those and want to have different ones for their belts and everything like that. And you sell one like medallion for, let's say, Roman Reigns, and you can use it for your world title, your tag titles, your IC title, your US title. So you get a lot more uses out of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so, I mean, still, it's a great-looking belt. I'd say that if WWE is going to be selling these belts, they're going to have a winner with this one, with this United States title, and you definitely, I like to get a good look at it, just kind of see what it is. But definitely a nice title, and I definitely give it. I give it an A. I wouldn't give it an A+. But you know me, I'm still with tradition. I still think the best title is the NWA US title from 86 to 90. When Lex had it most of that time, Lex Luger. But that's just me.
Well, me personally, I like good looking belts to begin with. Some traditional, some more newer and everything like that. Just depends on what you get. And like I said, it's the belts, even for independents, will make a company or break a company.
Yeah, that's very true.
Because how many independents have we seen that take like a toy $10 belt and put a sticker on it and call it something else?
Well,
or just color it with marker or whatever. I'm not saying, because there's still some that have done the paint jobs themselves, but got decently etched belt. And I think that's great. I mean, there's even some indies that have really high-class belts made now, too, like IEW. Their upcoming belt and everything looks like something you would not find anywhere else. You cannot get this as a replica anywhere or whatnot. I mean, it's going to be original towards them.
Right.
So you have so many, like, different views and everything. Like, you have Championship Wrestling from California or Hollywood, I forgot whichever Dave Marquez's group is. And he has, like, the television championship there, the United Wrestling TV, whatever, however it was and everything like that, which is a really unique belt. And I know some people that, especially that may call in later and everything, will even go along the lines of some belts that still will remind them of so much and everything, like the Missouri State title, the old NWA one.
Yeah.
People are selling replicas of that now and everything, which was hard for you to even do back then. So to revamp the title, it has to be something that's more catchy to begin with. Again, we talked about it before, the damn Copper Penny titles for the tag teams, that was horrible.
Yeah.
And even the early WWF tag titles was not all that good. But some of the earlier, like the earlier IC title, the original one, the kind of almost square-like one a little bit, that was used for a while. The Warrior held it, and Honky Tonk Man held it, and everything like that. That was good. When they did the oval one, that wasn't so good. Then they went back to this, and now they got this new IC title, which they should have kept with the other one. It's like, you have to have belts that will remember you, or like be memorable.
Right, exactly. And it's, I mean, obviously this is a new generation of titles that they're putting in, and I mean, obviously it's a new era. I mean, I don't know what they're calling this after the modern era, but that's basically what it is. Is a new era of belts, and I'm glad they're kind of. I kind of wish they would do a lot less with their main titles instead of having a big W on it. Kind of putting more effort into the artwork. But that's just me. I mean, it just seems like tacky with a just big old W. It just goes right.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Because anybody could just put a big letter on it, or a hologram letter, or whatever the heck they want to do, or however they see it. But that's just me. So here we go. We're going to we talked a little bit last week, as far as like how wrestling was and how everybody's fighting the COVID situation here, and we didn't get to our ironic story that we had to last week, but we're going to do this. But last Tuesday, on the 30th, this is focusing on Knox County, where, of course, your esteemed mayor is Glenn Jacobs. Zach Rickens of WVLT TV in Knoxville reported on his Twitter that day that the Knox County Health Board officials had a meeting to vote in with the mask mandate and, of course, other members of Knox County. The results showed 7-1 in favor of doing it, but the decision at that point had to be unanimous. And the only one that decided to vote against it was Glenn Jacobs, or Kane. And which is kind of ironic because, of course, Kane, wearing a mask most of his career. I know he took it off during the later stages of the Kane gimmick, but But since then, actually the following day or on Friday, or it was late Thursday, the health decided just to have another meeting. I guess that I guess he was not part of it, but they voted unanimously, and then the order came in. And with that order, the masks were not required if you were outdoors or if you had a medical condition that prevents wearing one, or any child under the age of 12. So, once again, we're looking at, this here with Kane, with the mask and everything. So,
well, the thing with that though is, I think it's pay out there, but the other side of that is with how they were voted on, like who you have a reason why with the.
Oh, not quite sure.
On my feed a little bit, it looked like it said we pause for a second. That's why I didn't know. I'll continue now, because it always happens. Try not to have it happen next week. So, if you have health issues that prevent you from wearing the mask, you probably shouldn't be going out around and things where you can catch this virus to begin with.
Right.
That's just an opinion there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as there's some areas that are, apparently having a buffering issue here. I just don't know what's going on.
I just got word from the one producers that sound is cutting out.
Sound, yeah. It may be the feed too. I'm just gonna refresh the feed to see. I guess we had you're having a buffering issue. I guess we're having. I guess the Thursday night entertainment industry here in the neighborhood, and people need to get their they need to get their fix.
Grubhub, or wait a minute, wrong the hub. Sorry.
Yeah, wrong. Yeah, it's a hub, but not that hub. So, I think we're okay on that.
I'm checking with the producer right now. Apparently no sound at all right now.
No sound. All right. Let me check this. Hold on. Okay, so there is sound. All right.
The world of football, Colin Kaepernick and all that.
Okay, that wasn't planned. Okay. Hold on. All right. Looks like on the YouTube side, we're back on. Okay. All right, I'm looking at, I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah, bear with me here. Oh, my goodness. All right. GQ, let me know if you see anything from your producer and see if anything is happening here. Hold on.
Well, I set it to where the producer should be able to tell you as well.
Okay. All right. Give me 1 second here.
So far, I'm hearing it's back. I'm going to read my book right now.
Okay, so it's back right now. Okay. Oh, my. Okay. You know what?
So Harley had to give the envelope straight to drill instructor. That was kind of cool. A lot of people know that. A lot of people know that feeling. I mean, oh, sorry. Were we back? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, perfect. Okay, so it looks like. Thank you for that. Thank you for that help on the producer there, GQ.
You hired her. I didn't.
Nah. All right. You know what we're going to do, though? Honestly, I think we're just going to need to go. I mean, since we restarted the feed, I think we need to see about taking a little break. Hold on. Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, we're going to take a little break. We had something that we could have talked about, But before we do that, though, okay, let's see. Since we're back up here, want to let everybody else know next week, which, fingers crossed, everything's good. Not that he won't show up. I know he will. But would our feed show up? That's the question. But you hear this? Yes, sir. It's the manager of champions for ECW and longtime veteran of the business, starting back in NWA and going through WWE and landing in ECW. And that is ECW original Bill Alfonso. He will be here next week at 8 as our featured guest. And we will have a lot to talk about with Mr. Bill Alfonso next week. So I'm definitely excited for that, GQ.
Definitely here too.
Yeah, so that's going to be awesome with Mr. Bill Alfonso. And like I said, we're going to be finalizing that deal tomorrow. Everything's looking good. He's still available, and so he'll be with us in that podcast. So with that being said, we are going to over to take a quick little break. We deserve at least about, I don't know, give us about 4.5, huh, guys? We want to make sure we're good for the Butcher, Damian Blade, or else it's going to be my head on a platter, and I don't want that. So, all right, guys, we'll be back here shortly. All right, guys, we are back. We are back. I know we took a little bit over the 4.5 minutes, but that's we make our own unions here. We just kind of do our own breaks, and we'll come back if we'll come back when we darn feel like it. Okay, that's what we do. But anyway, thanks a lot, guys, for hanging in here with us. If I can stop talking over the freaking music, then we'll get going here. All right, here we go. Sorry about that. GQ is just I do a lot over here. You don't understand GQ. It's hard for a guy like me. It ain't easy being green. You know what I'm saying? It's on. Right. Yep. Oh my God. But anyway, we're. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, the whole aura, you don't see much of. It's still daylight over here. My gosh. But anyway, let's go ahead and get down to the meat of our show here tonight by bringing on our featured guest. Our featured guest has, like I said, he's been wrestling since 1998, greatly over 22 years. Wrestled in many promotions across the Midwest, and of course, gaining quick exposure to wrestling in the countries of Japan and England within his first 2 years. He's won multiple championships in singles and a tag team. He was elected to the 2017 class of Midwest Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame. And currently, he's a member of the MMWA and SICW here around the St. Louis area.
We need to tenderize this.
We're gonna play a little bit of his music here coming on.
Whoopsie daisy!
Oh yeah, good song, man. The one or not, he's not custom made. He's not unholy anymore. But he'll meet his opponents and put them on the kill floor, ladies and gentlemen. It is the one and the only, the Butcher, Damian Blade. Blade, what's going on, buddy? Ah, well.
I think Ruby just made you a catchphrase for a new shirt.
Oh, yeah? Well,
he's not custom made, he's not unholy anymore, but he will leave you on the killing room floor or something like whatever he just said.
Yeah. I like that, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean... So it took me forever to get a Spot Monkey shirt. I don't know if those are available anymore, but
Well, I almost got.
Here we go. Here we go.
I mean, that guy owned the rights to Spot Monkey. No one ever used that, right?
Well, no one's trademarked it, but it's just been describing some talent. But that's about it.
He's like, look, it even has a spot on the monkey. Well, no kidding.
It's a spotted monkey.
Right.
This escalated really fast than I even thought it was going to. So.
Well, I'm just.
Hey, we're talking about T-shirts. I just had to bring that one up, which I'm sure we'll probably get to merchandise later. When we visit the butcher shop and talk to the butcher, I'm sure he'll be wanting to plug his merchandise. So, yeah. But anyway, Damian Blade, my friend. Let's get things started here. We're going to try to get way back to the beginning when you started. So kind of tell us how it all began with how you gained your love for professional wrestling.
Well, my dad was a big fan of professional wrestling as I was growing up, and I would watch it here and there. It was back in the old days when my dad would have to climb on the roof and turn the antenna just to get the UHF channel for Saturday Night Wrestling. And I watched it, but I really wasn't that big into it. But then one Sunday morning, they showed this Iranian guy come out, and he had the championship belt, and he came out, and then they go to the back, and there was this big bronze guy with blonde hair, and he looked like a superhero to me. And he came through the curtain and he beat the Iranian in about 5 minutes and became the world champion. And all you guys know that's when Hulk Hogan beat the Iron Sheik for the WWF Heavyweight Championship. So that's whenever I became a fan of professional wrestling, sitting there on my dad's lap watching that and thinking, man, wow, these guys are like larger-than-life superheroes. And in my mind, I'm like, I want to be just like that guy someday.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
well, the hair went in that direction, definitely.
Well, the hair went that direction in my 20s, man. Like, a divorce will do that to you, man. Yep.
Oh my gosh, and a pretty sad that we're all in that same boat. Yeah. But hey, I mean, I had the same epiphany too. When I was watching it, just happened to watch it one Sunday morning, and I saw that match too, and that about pretty much what started me as well. I'm like, holy crap, I need to start watching this, and then of course that led to World Championship Wrestling on TBS. Like not even a year later, I'm watching that, and I mean, gosh, I was just watching everything. I think my dad just got sick of me and just let me have the TV for like Saturday night until like Sunday morning. Thank God, bless his soul.
Right.
Well, we know you actually want to watch Tarzan in the St. Louis area around on Sunday mornings. That's just how you were, Ruby. I'm just saying.
Nah, it's all right. I think I can stand Ron Ely better and face the music. At least he was clothed in a suit then. So,
man, come on now. Sunday morning TV on Channel 11 was great. Let's be honest. Tarzan, wrestling, and then it had the movies of the week. I mean, it was everybody sat around on Sunday and watched Tarzan, wrestling, and those movies.
Well, I mean, Tarzan kind of fit the bill with it being in something very skimpy, so,
Well, that's true.
Well, I mean, come on. A lot of guys wear traditional trunks, I mean, Tarzan actually wore less, but,
I'm sure GQ really liked it.
No. By the way, GQ, the Beast is calling you out in the room. Thought that you'd be drinking a glass of milk on ice, but just GQ is not very happy. So,
go back on Springer. I'm just saying. Sorry. Carry on.
Carry on. So we mentioned something about watching matches. Once you got into watching all the matches, from the time that you were growing up until now, watching all the wrestling on TV. Not you specifically, but what would you think would have to be the most memorable match that you have seen, or possibly
all
the
high flying spots from young kids that think that's all they need to do? Oh.
The most memorable match I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I would have to say the greatest match ever was the most simple story ever told, and that was Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant for WrestleMania 3. It was simple storytelling, and that's what guys today don't get. You don't have to do the fancy spot monkey stuff to get over with the crowd. They never leave going, man, did you see that 450? They leave going, man, did you see Hulk Hogan body slam that giant? I mean, it was simple storytelling. And today, if I ever want to just mark out and watch wrestling, I turn on WrestleMania 3 because I had the best of everything. You had Macho Man versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, which got your great technical wrestling in it. And then you had the great storytelling of Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
It was when the business actually built everything up instead of everybody trying to do everything in one show, which not a lot of people do the build-ups hardly anymore. So you don't get to see that, and they just want they don't want to wait for the finish. They just want to fast forward to the end.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, sadly, the finish starts at the beginning nowadays. They start out with these big high spots, these big moves, and you've got nothing to look forward to at the end because you've seen it all. I mean, whenever a simple DDT back 15 years ago would have sealed the deal. Now you get 15 DDTs in the ring, and people kick out, and it means nothing anymore. So, Jake taking the time to, make that DDT something special, it means nothing to these kids nowadays. And I just I can't grasp the concept. Maybe I'm getting old. I don't know. But to me, simple just is better.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of, it's one thing to have a match, but if you're going to start a feud, you're going to have a story. And, like I said, I mean, a lot of big promotions,
I don't mean to interrupt you, but, I watched AEW last night. And I enjoy watching AEW. But how many times did you hear Excalibur say in every match last night, Tope Suicida? It was every match. Every match, somebody dove to the outside, and he's screaming that. It makes that move not special. It's not special anymore. It's no different than grabbing a wrist lock.
Yeah.
So what makes that move special anymore?
Yeah, but who does chain wrestling anymore nowadays?
Well, that's true, too. I mean, that's a lost art. And, sadly, you got a guy like the size of Luchasaurus doing, he's a huge man who should be pushed as a monster. But they're pushing him as, a cruiserweight, doing all these crazy, stupid moves, and it makes zero sense to me whatsoever. He should be going in there and just destroying people.
All right. Yeah, exactly. Well, AEW.
Not many know the art of the big guy scenario push or whatever. I mean, nobody pays attention to it anymore. They just want to get this person, that person over, and don't care how they go about doing it.
No, they don't care. I mean, can you imagine Undertaker for the last 20 years doing a split-legged moonsault, and then doing a dive to the outside, and then going up and doing another dive? I mean, it would take away what is special about the Undertaker, and it would take away what's special about being 6'9", 300 pounds. I mean, that's special in its own self. You don't have to make it more special by, look how athletic I am. Nobody cares. Leave the athleticism for the 5'8" guys.
Yeah. Yeah. And, with Undertaker, though, he did dive over the top and into the outside, but he didn't do it every match. It was
correct.
It was like a very special occasion, like on a special pay-per-view when he did it. I mean, it wasn't in his regular move, it wasn't in his move set, his regular move set at all. And, but yeah, I mean, I get it, it's just a lot of these guys, it's more of sensationalism than more than storytelling and building on emotion with that.
Right.
And, it's, what do you do? I mean, I definitely can't be doing those moves. So it's either I'm going to tell a story and I'm going to beat somebody up. They're going to beat me up. It's either you're going to like it or you don't like it. So, it's whatever.
I mean, Rudy, I don't want to see you do those moves. To me, that you should not be doing those moves. You're a bigger man. It makes no sense to do those moves. It really doesn't. Tell me a story. Send the fans home wanting more of the story. I don't, sadly, it's hard to fault these guys because us older generation kind of let this happen. We trained them, and then we saw they could do all these fancy things. We're like, oh, that looks great, and then we just kind of let them go with it. We didn't bring them into the locker room and go, hey, you're putting too much into it. Reel that back in a little bit and tell a story instead of doing 5 flips. So we burden some of that blame.
Yeah. So with that here, I actually just saw a question come up, and I'll ask it. Joker is actually in the room here watching tonight, and he says, if the Butcher could wrestle anyone, past or present, who would it be, and what kind of storyline would you want to go with that individual?
I mean, are we talking locally? Or are we talking?
I think it's. He says wrestle anyone, past or present. So that could be anybody.
Okay. So I would change it to where it's a 2-part answer. Do locally and then do a majorly.
Yeah, so locally and major. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Major, I would love to wrestle Bray Wyatt. I think our two gimmicks could tell quite the story. You could start off with us being a tag team, obviously, because of the similarities in the gimmick, and then branch off into doing a really cool match, I think. So he would be my guy in the big time I'd like to have a match with. Locally, oh man, there's so many guys, but I really have been like salivating to have a match with Ricky Cruz. I love his style. I love that he understands the business, and I just think that we could go in there and I think we could tell a really good story. And he's one of the guys I would really look forward to wrestling.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, and like I said, I mean, I was lucky to have him, I was lucky to have a match with him, and let me tell you, it's he definitely is a true good. He's an awesome talent inside the ring. That's what I'll say.
Actually, I was there when that match happened. Actually, I was sitting in the crowd, and that was a great match because once again, you guys told a story. And I was like, I remember looking at the person I came with, and I was like, man, that was a good match because it was storytelling.
Yeah, and I mean, that was awesome, and I appreciate that. And I mean, I think the Butcher and Ricky Cruz, I think that would be if you could story that out in SICW. I'm just saying that would be a good storytell from end to end. And I would like.
By the way, I was going to say, Joker said it was okay if you did not say his name, Joker, as an opponent. He said it was okay if you didn't. So,
I've never wrestled Joker, and I would love to wrestle Joker at some point. There's so many guys, like I took a little bit of a break, and I came back, and like there was a bunch of guys that are on my bucket list to actually have matches with, so I would love to wrestle Joker at some point.
Oh yeah, I mean that'd be pretty cool. Now as far as getting back to the beginning now, so obviously you're watching wrestling, you gathered your love for it. So how did you stumble upon getting started independent ranks of professional wrestling?
Oh, just like anybody would. I showed up at this backwoods show. It was in the back of an old Walmart.
No, really?
I love telling the story because like back then they had like a wrestling hotline that you called to get all the scoop.
Oh,
so
yes.
I called and I got all the scoop and where it was going to be held, this show, and it sounded like it was going to be a big show, and I was like, oh man, this is good, great. I show up and I walk through this. I think it was a flea market. It used to be a Walmart, and I get to the back and I see a woman sitting there taking tickets. I see an older gentleman in cowboy boots. And then I see this really big guy. It looked like he was somebody's bodyguard standing there with his arms crossed. And I'm like, is this a wrestling show? And they're like, oh, yeah, $5. So they took my money, and I walked through the double doors going to, I guess, what used to be the stock room. And I look in there, and I'm like, wow, okay. So there was a ring, and around the ring was about 4 couches. And nobody's sitting in those couches. And I'm like, I'm the only person paying for this show. So I went and I sat in the couch, and I think they put on 2 matches. And I do believe, Ruby, you were there, actually. I'm not sure if you had a match, but I think you did a run-in at the end with 3D Incorporated.
Oh, yeah.
I do remember Trevor Rhodes, who became Trevor Murdoch, doing something on that show, Johnny D, Billy D. So it was, I think it was called Central States Wrestling Alliance at that point.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is interesting. So afterwards, I like, okay, I'm going to get out of here as fast as I can. So I get through the double doors, and I'm walking through the flea market, and I hear these boots clicking behind me. Click, 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 click. And, sir, wait. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, have you ever thought about being a professional wrestler?
And we all heard it in that voice, too. We all just heard that in that voice.
Yep.
and I looked at him and I go, yeah, my whole life. And he goes, well, I'll tell you what. You show up at Lost Valley Lake tomorrow. That's our next show. And you help set up the ring, and we'll start training you. And I'm like, it's that easy, huh? And he's like, it's that easy. I'm like, okay, cool. So I remember going home and telling my dad, I'm like, dude, I'm going to train to be a professional wrestler starting tomorrow. And he goes, are you crazy?
Right.
He's like, you're going to get yourself killed. And I'm like, well, thanks for the vote of confidence, Dad. So I showed up that next day and helped set up the ring and got in the ring and started training with the guys. I trained with Billy D, Johnny D, Marcus Mansfield, I think maybe you a little bit, Ruby. But the highlight of the day was they wanted Casey Cowboy to come in and show us some stuff. So Casey he'd been out there fishing all day. He comes in and he wants to give us snapmares in the rear chin lock. So he puts me in a snapmare, grabs my chin, and all I see is fish guts all over his hands. And he had the smelliest hands from fishing. And I'm like, well, I can't say anything. It's my first day. So I just kept thinking, so this is what it's going to be like. Oh, my gosh. But it was like, it was the coolest thing ever, though, because, like, I was pursuing my dream. That it all, everything I'd wanted to be since, I watched Hulk Hogan win that belt in 1984. So even though the fish hands and all that stuff, I was still on board. I was ready to do it.
Oh, man, yeah. But by the way, going back to the whole Shaft is watching here tonight. He says that you're lucky that he's retired. So
I'm lucky that Shaft's retired?
Yeah, you're lucky that Shaft is retired. So.
Oh, Shaft. I'm going to make my way down there some night to that little basement anymore, and we'll have a talk.
Hey,
but I'm bringing sweet Bernice with me, buddy.
Well, somebody still got to break him out of that coffin that came and buried him in. I'm just saying. I mean,
yeah, it's a cozy little place in that studio, but once you turn the lights out, it could be definitely a different atmosphere.
Right. I guess I need to be nice to Shaq because they just made him like the commissioner of MMWA down at South Broadway. So I guess I better be nice. Shaq, when do you want to go out to dinner, sir?
Right.
And that's how you get a push, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm making him pay because he's the one who got the promotion, but you know.
Right. So So I remember you telling that story. I keep forgetting, and it's just so funny how you tell how you first trained with Casey Cowboy after fishing all day, and then all the guts in your freaking nose from a chin lock. I'm like, man, I can't, man. So somebody asked me, what got you through the start of wrestling? Fish guts. So it's like, oh my God. Oh,
and Casey Cowboy wasn't a guy that talked a lot either, and he had chew in his mouth, and it was the most awkward 20 minutes of my life. I can't lie, because he didn't really explain what he was going to do. He just kind of did it. but I was like in my eyes because I'd heard his name before, and I'd actually seen him wrestle as a child. My dad took me to a show in Warrenton, Missouri, at an armory, and I remember seeing Casey Cowboy there. So in my eyes, even though he had the fishing on hand and stuff, I was like, I'm in here with a star because in my eyes, I seen him in front of hundreds of people. So it was still a cool experience, though it was super awkward.
Yeah,
you wanted to make sure you had the guts for this business.
Oh, yeah, it was right on his hands. Nasty.
Right.
Joker, I'm going to get to your question here in a minute here, but I'm going to hang on to that. Now, like I said, your first run, you mentioned, of course, with Frank with CSWA, eventually turning into RCW. And of course, picture here right now is, you were with the Searcher and, at that time. And of course, they pretty much put you together, collaborating as Search and Destroy as a tag team. So in your first year in the business, so were you more in your comfort zone during tag matches, or did you prefer singles?
My first year in the business, I was completely horrible. I couldn't take a bump to save my life. But, they kind of threw me in there because they needed guys, so my training was very minimal. And they put me in there with Trevor Rhodes, who once again became Trevor Murdoch. And what I didn't realize at the time, I held a little bit of a grudge for the first couple of years against Trevor because we'd be in tag matches, and he would tag me in for 10 seconds, and then I'd stand on the apron the rest of the time. And I'm like, what does this guy think he is, And then as I grew older and understood the business, he was trying to save me, and I didn't realize it. I was that bad that I was going to get myself hurt. Tag
now, were
matches
you wearing the overalls at that time?
Yeah. Sadly, I got put in the gimmick of Billy McCoy. I don't know how or why, but, Frank Reed looked at me and said, I can see you in an overall as a hillbilly. He loved hillbillies. There was hillbillies all over the place in that company for some reason.
Sure. Make you part of the people.
Right. Well, the godsend was me and the Searcher became really close friends, and I would go to his house just about every night, which was almost an hour drive from my house, and we would just kind of practice in his backyard. And we became really good friends, and we took these promo shots, these promo pics of us standing together. He's in his Searcher / Undertaker looking gear, and I painted my face all up, and I don't know what it was horrible. But it looked good together for whatever reason, and we presented it to Frank, and he was like, well, let's give it a shot. Search and Destroy. No, Searcher and Destroyer. Okay, I love Search and Destroy. No, Searcher and Destroyer. So every time he would announce us, he would call it Search and Destroy. We'd be like, Frank, it's Searcher and Destroyer. But Searcher was kind of my saving grace because we learned to work together, and if it wasn't for tag team wrestling, I probably wouldn't have made it that first year in the business.
Yeah. Well, like I said, anything to get you a saving grace and at least get you some experience, which is a good thing. And you two kind of, meshed well with each other. And then, I think that probably went on for about a year with that. And then, of course, you broke off, doing singles. And, he was doing singles, and then you were also doing singles as well. You guys, working with, with the likes of Greg the Hammer Valentine and Cowboy Bob Orton, even the following year. And then, so with that first year, you were gaining notoriety, pretty quick. And then now, after you guys split up, you were back in another tag scenario, with Bad Brad Seeger, forming the team of Havoc. This is also where you were able to tour to Japan and England for wrestling bookings there. So we're going to get into both here. So for Japan, you were featured in a FMW Japanese pay-per-view event in a 6-man tag match. What do you remember about that match? And how did you handle your nerves throughout that entire match, knowing that you're less than 2 years into the business, and here you are on the pay-per-view, at the age of 21 or 22, in front of a Japanese audience, and you're live, so you can't mess up. So how are you feeling?
Well, to back up a little bit, everybody thinks pro wrestling is a game of talent, and it's really not. It's a game of luck. It's finding the right person at the right time to guide you. It's somebody seeing something in you. It's somebody meeting you on a booking somewhere and somebody sees you. It's a game. It's luck, and it was complete luck that I got over in Japan and did that pay-per-view because Frank Reed brought in Pat Tanaka, and he took us through some extensive training and whatnot. And me and Brad were probably the two biggest guys there, and he's like, I want to take you guys over with me because we want to do a 6-man tag, yada yada. And I'm like, I was, oh my gosh, how old was I? I guess I was 22, yeah, with less than 2 years experience under my belt. And I'm like, what? Japan, right? Yeah, whatever, And then I got the letter in the mail from Joyce Farhat, who is the Sheik's wife, and it all became super real at that moment when I saw the envelope with FMW on it, and I'm like, at that point it became super real because I knew what FMW was, and I remember looking at Brad going, "Do you know what FMW is?" And he goes, "Oh, it's just a wrestling company in Japan." I'm like, "No, it's not just a wrestling company in Japan. Like, these guys kill each other over there. Are you sure you want to go over there?" And he's like, "Well, it's paying." I'm like, "Okay, you're right. Let's go die."
Okay, let's go die.
It was worth the paying. What we're gonna say, at least send it home to my wife, I guess. So like, I was so nervous because they told us that when you arrive to the arena, you have to do 500 squats. You have to do duck walks around the ring. You have to do all these crazy exercises, okay? And I'm like, oh my God, I got to do that before I go out and wrestle? Like, I'm going to die. So, as I say, wrestling is a game.
What was the reasoning for that?
Because they condition their athletes over there. Like, you better be ready to go. Like, if you're in a dojo over there, that's your daily routine, like 500 squats, and all these duck walks and stuff. So you stay flexible and you're ready to go. Well, like I said, wrestling is a game of luck. A week before I left, I had a show working RCW, and I wrestled a gentleman, and he went to give me a DDT, and he was standing on my foot when he gave me the DDT and broke my ankle.
Oh.
So I'm like, I'm a week out from going to Japan, and I have a broken ankle. So Tanaka talked to the guys over there, and he's like, "Hey, this guy's got a broken ankle." So I got out of doing that. But I remember in my hotel room the night before, I'm sitting there, and I get to, like, squat 250 in my hotel room, and I'm dying. I'm sweating. I'm like, there's no way I can do this tomorrow. There's no way. And then he taped up my ankle so tight that I had no feeling from my knee down. So I go through that whole match with no feeling in my foot whatsoever. Oh. And if you actually watch the match, you can see that I have no feeling in my ankle because of that. Because it's like I move it in weird ways as I take bumps. And I look back at that, and I'm like, oh God, that looks so horrible. But I couldn't feel my foot. So I mean, what do you do? But I was so stressed out at that young age to be over there, with my heroes. I mean, Hayabusa, Masato Tanaka. Oh my gosh, just in the locker room with those guys, and they were ribbing us because we didn't speak any Japanese, and wrestling Gedo and Jado, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy. It was just crazy, and to be in the business 2 years and actually get that opportunity doesn't happen very often. It was complete luck. Me and Brad had a good looking gimmick, and that's what took us over there. To this day, people are like, "Isn't that your biggest moment in wrestling?" I'm like, "No, that was my scariest moment in wrestling." It literally was. It was. I mean, I had never been on a plane up until that point, and then I'm flying 13 hours over to get myself killed in FMW. So, it's not my biggest moment in wrestling by any means, but it was scary.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but going through that experience, I mean, my gosh, I mean, having to go through all the, I mean, I didn't really know all of that. Having to do all the squats and, going through the conditioning before pay-per-view and, not used to that. And I guess, like I said, if you got kind of talked out of it, which is, I guess a blessing. You still did the match with a freaking broken ankle of all things. And I knew you were hurt before then, and I just had to kind of refresh to see, what exactly your injury was. But my God, that had to have been painful. But even after Japan, yeah. So, but after Japan, is where you and Brad were touring went over to England to tour. So when you were over there, how many matches did you work in the tour, and what worth did you gain from that experience over in England?
England was great. We would work every single day, sometimes twice a day, because the promoter that brought us over there would send us to other promotions that had shows at 3 o'clock in the day, and then we'd come back to his show at 7 and work. So I stayed busy. I didn't really have a day off, and everybody's like, I don't know how these guys on TV do it every night. Well, your body becomes conditioned to it. It's actually better for you to do it more than not, because if you do it once a month, then it's like a car accident once a month. Whereas if you do it every night, your body doesn't feel bad because you're adjusted to taking the bump. So it was that was a fun experience. Literally, we got back from Japan, and I think we left 2 or 3 days later to fly to England. And what's funny about that is FMW wanted to keep us over there and finish out their tour. And we're like, well, we can't. We're already booked in England. And, looking back, if I would have been smarter and wiser to the business, I probably would have just stayed in FMW because, nothing against England because I had a great time there. But, there's more exposure in Japan. So I probably would have stayed over there on that tour, been who I am now and know the business better. But England was amazing. I got treated so good over there. They put us up in really nice bed and breakfast, and I didn't have to pay for anything. It was great.
Awesome. So are you at liberty to tell us how you were compensated over there? Was the compensation worth it? With the pay and everything, or accommodations?
Oh, we're talking 20 years ago. So keep that in mind.
Right.
At that time, it was a 2-to-1 ratio with the pay from going from American pay to I guess they had the pound back then. So I was making, depending on which promoter I worked for, because the one promoter I took a little cut, obviously to send me to the other guy and whatnot. But we were making $150, $200 a night. Well, if you're doing that every night, sometimes twice a night, that's pretty good money. You know what I'm saying? So we made really good money over there. And you're seeing historic landmarks and all this stuff that you see only on TV, and the whole experience was just amazing. Now in pounds they wasn't paying us anything near that, but when we would wait for the exchange rate. And we'd go over there and we'd exchange it and send the cash home.
Right.
So it was double at that time. So $50 or 50 pounds over there was $100 American money. Yeah. So we were coming out pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Well, so I guess if with the ratio here with some promotions, instead of expired coupons, you would get valid coupons. So,
Well, yeah, it's helpful that you can actually use the coupon.
Right. And hey, GQ, are you seeing what I just saw in the chat room here?
Yep, I saw that, and I happen to agree with that. I've been wanting to go down there myself too. So.
Yeah, because we were talking here about who you would like to work here, Mr. Blade. And apparently Ricky Cruz chimed in our chat room saying that you and him need to hit Japan or Puerto Rico at least once. So he's not talking just SICW. He's trying to get you out of the country to do the roundabout with a match or two.
man, you just give me a second to go get my passport. Let's roll.
Right, yeah. Exactly. Anything to get out of this country for a while.
Right.
Yeah, right. Let's see. I think there was one other. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I don't know if I can go back up in the chat or not. I'm trying to see here. Oh, I can go back up in chat. Okay. So another question was posted here, and I'll get to that right now. Who would the Butcher would like to see to get a good push or run here in the Midwest? Like, I guess we're talking independent scene. Like, what star in the Midwest would you see like to get a good run and is worthy of it?
God, you know who is one of the most underrated talents in the area that I've just come across recently in the last year and watched, and that's Bobby D. Wow, the guy, I watched him with Steve Fender do a 5-star match one night, and he's never been on my radar really. He's kind of a quiet guy. He never boasts about wrestling or anything like that. And watching him and Steve Fender have that match, I remember him coming back through the curtain. I was like, "Wow, dude, that was a great match." And he's like, "Oh, thanks, man." He's not one of those guys that's boastful or anything, but man, I would love to see him get a good run. He's an amazing talent. There's so many guys out there that are great talents that people just really need to keep an eye on. We can talk about many other promotions. Let's see. Let's talk about ACW. Man, they got a plethora of talent that, you got Curtis Payne, who I've said for 20 years is a guy that should have went somewhere, and he didn't. Like, he should be making money in this business. There's just so many guys out there that are just top-notch talent that need to expand their wings a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And man, you never know what can happen if you just make that connection.
Oh, right, exactly. But yeah, it's making that connection these days is it's still there's still a higher competitive atmosphere, and of course also when you're talking money, you have to talk going through many tryouts before you would even be considered even to be part of it, and you would have to have something that's very unique and extraordinary. Even if it's with AEW, it's with Impact, and especially with WWE. So
you know who's another guy that just crossed my mind? Another guy that should be on everybody's radar, especially in the St. Louis area, is Johnny Rocco. Johnny Rocco is a top-notch talent. Man, got a great gimmick. I love it. He's a guy that you need to watch because if he gets the right connections, he's going to do some big things.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I had a chance to manage him one show, and he was just amazing. Just watching the ring right there ringside, let alone how he worked with everything. He had the all around great work package there.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you watch NWA, SICW, WPW, ACW, I know I'm going to miss a company somewhere, but man, there's such good talent here in this local area. That everybody just needs to pay attention to and pour into these guys. Us older guys need to pull them aside and say, hey, this is great. This wasn't so great. There's just so many local guys that I think are going to be something special that everybody just needs to keep an eye on, the local wrestling business. Damian Cortez, NWA. That is one big dude. And he's got a lot of talent. So there's just so many, Sid Holland. Man, I could just go on and on and on of guys that have the ability to do something good in this business.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, everybody just has to keep working hard and try to, just keeping the work ethic as much as possible with, when it comes to your psychology, when it comes to your own personal health, when it comes to the package all the way around. Locker room etiquette, the way that you handle yourself inside and outside the ring is definitely very important as far as being. And I've said this weeks ago, and I really think that us as professional wrestlers need to be ambassadors of, basically of the general public. We, try to set an example, and I think we should still be doing that. I constantly, I think that should be gone without saying with that. So
yeah, absolutely. And let's not forget the female wrestlers like Ms. Hyde of ACW. She's trained by Dr. Tom and Kane. Local companies need to utilize her. She's branching out and doing stuff in other areas. She's a great talent. So like I said, there's so much talent out there that I want to see St. Louis be that mecca of wrestling like it used to be.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody was, back in the 80s, and, when Sam Munkschnick they had the St. Louis territory, that we were basically the talk of the town. Everybody was going to the gateway to the west to watch it, to watch wrestling at the Chase. Because that's probably one of the most talked about territories in the NWA back then. Yeah. And, it can be again. It's just, I think there's other major companies that are just trying to keep St. Louis on the hush hush and just trying to push their own city, which I guess I can understand. But a lot of the history goes back to St. Louis and all that.
Yes, it is.
So during your time in the business, what wrestling veterans have you looked up and gotten advice from the most to help you with your knowledge and respect from the most?
Anybody who doesn't sit down with like Cowboy Bob Orton, who's at a lot of local shows and don't pick his brain, they're crazy. A lot of knowledge there. Pick his brain. Dan the Beast Severn from Michigan. I went up to did a training camp with him. He's got a lot of knowledge. Local guys like Attila Khan. Recently, I started, picking his brain, and the guy's been around. He's done stuff that I've never done. So why would you not sit around and ask that guy stuff? You know what I'm saying? It only makes your performance better when you talk to guys who've been places you've never been. Ricky Cruz is another guy that I pick his brain all the time. The Searcher, I pick his brain all the time. Scar, guys like that. I sit around and brainstorm and come up with ideas, or hey, have you ever thought about doing this or whatever? And there's just a lot of knowledge out there amongst the veterans that all of us. We can even get knowledge from younger guys. If a younger guy pulls me aside and says, "Hey, I noticed something you did out there. Why don't you try it this way?" I'm going to listen, because sometimes we get stuck in that old routine of, this is what I do out there. Fresh in the business, they have knowledge to pass on as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Experiences are gained whenever you not just inside the ring, but if you get a chance to talk to others who are that have been doing this, for quite a while, and even if it's hopefully with guys that are have come in, but after you, and they gain knowledge. A lot of these guys just need to know, how you're going to handle, what's the best way to handle, certain aspects of the business, whether it be in ring or outside the ring, and as far as how the way you can handle and conduct yourselves, and hopefully the respect factor is still in. It's respect is a big thing in this business, and it definitely. Most of the guys are still learning it today, and some don't. And we all find out, for those who don't respect others, and they're just in the business for themselves. They don't get that far, and we don't tend to sweat upon that, But I mean, it is what it is. But getting, like I say, you're getting the business. You get advice from guys and names that have been in the business the most. So, but
right,
yeah.
Right.
Of all the factions that you have been and that you've been in, there's been several. We've going back to mainly with MPW. You've had the Unholy Alliance, and then of course, you've had the Independent Icons. I don't know. I think you were also maybe part of the Legion at one point.
Yes, I was.
Yeah. But of all,
weren't you a part of Big's group as well?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Yeah. Was that just a big? I forgot the name of that corporation.
It was the Big Boys Incorporated.
Yep.
Oh, it was okay. Big Boys Incorporated. Okay, I was say it's not the agency because that was Uriah and Curtis Payne as the tag team, so
right.
That was not them. But of all the factions that you were in part of, so far in wrestling, what would you say was your favorite out of all of them?
I honestly don't know if I have a favorite. Each one of them is pretty special to me in one way, shape, or form, because my friends were with me in those factions. But I will say this: you ain't seen the best one yet.
Oh, so there's possibly another faction coming, and we don't know about it. So
you never know what's brewing in the butcher shop. Let's just put it that way.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I put up a picture here, and I don't know whose this is, and I've been getting photos here and there. But there's one that looks like with you, Tommy Cross. It looks like the Hitchman and maybe Jamie Killjoy. Was that?
Yes.
It looked like a backyard version of the Flock, to be honest. But
well, that was the first inception of the Unholy Alliance, right there. Yeah. Is this a picture of me in the jean shorts?
You had like gray sleeveless tee. You're right in the middle of everything. Jamie
and blue shorts.
Yeah.
We went through an ECW type Raven phase right then. It was pretty awful, probably looking back at it. But man, what a great group of guys that was. I was, I guess, the veteran out of that group, and I remember that was whenever I was leaving RCW and going to MPW, and I took like half of RCW's locker room with me because they were a bunch of rookies. and
right.
That whole group went with me. Yeah, that caused a little bit of
half the locker room and some of the belts went with you guys over there. I mean, I'm just saying,
I know nothing about that, G2. Nothing.
Oh.
I mean, there's a lot of talent in that photo. At least one of those guys is going to become a butcher. Another one of those guys is going to become a great artist and designer and make a good connection with that. So, just saying.
Oh, and one guy worked for the WWE. Yeah, go figure, right?
I wasn't going to say the name, okay, but
well, I mean, let's just. I mean, really, like, who thought that? You usually think when a wrestler is a wrestler, he's going to, if he's in WWE, be a wrestler. Nah, this guy's a great artist and gets hired by the WWE. Go figure.
Yeah. Well, let's do. Yeah. Well, let's do kind of another picture here, and I'm gonna cut to it here until.
It'll take me a little bit to see it.
Yeah,
so,
I was going to take a little bit because we're talking about belts and how mysteriously how they wander over. This belt seemed to be a little bit of a clone of another title from another group, and it was the MPW Missouri State title. But you got to admit, this was a sharp-looking belt, and I remember holding this title, but it wasn't the MP. Well, actually, I held it 2 different occasions.
You did hold it as the MPW Missouri title. I'm just saying.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I was Missouri State Champion in MPW. Yes, sir. And I was that other promotion's champion, too, with the same belt. But, man, talk about a sharp title, though. That is pretty cool.
That was a great title. That's why people like to stick it underneath their shirts and walk out with it.
Why? Oh my gosh, why? Oh.
And the title that replaced that belt in that certain company was really nice as well. I went back to that company and became that heavyweight champion, but unfortunately, on the back of that belt, it said property of, and the owner's name's on it. So, like, you couldn't hold it up after you win because, like, the back of the belt said property of. And it's like, oh, my gosh, they didn't want this belt stolen, so they put it in big gold marker. I'm like, oh, this is horrible.
It ain't nothing that black hockey tape can't fix, you know?
Well, been there, done that.
We've wrestled in some rings that were repaired with that. Okay, let's be honest there.
Oh my God!
Everywhere at some point we've wrestled in a ring kind of like that.
I think I tried to repair my first marriage with that.
Everybody's using Flex Seal these days for many things. I don't know if that's gonna work.
Yeah.
Let's just move on because we can keep this going for a while, and we're going to create a lot of online heat that's going to come back on somebody sooner or later. So let's just go.
Yeah,
I'm a heat magnet.
Oh, yeah, you're attracting something here. Somebody wanted me to bring up one other picture, and
it was a Mark that sent it to him. Okay, let's just keep that in mind.
Yeah. So this will pop up in about 10 seconds or so on the feed, but this kind of looks like. I mean, the build kind of looks familiar with a pink boa and a red mask, and
I'm gonna kill you, DQ. I'm gonna kill you.
It wasn't me. Blame Matt Maniac. He had the stuff. Okay, it wasn't me.
All right. Well, okay. Yes, I did a character called Gary Michael G, who went out there and wrestled the girls, and yeah, he was. You could not do this character today, probably. But my favorite part of that character was whenever I first put those shorts on, because I made him in the Daisy Dukes, and the look on everyone's face in the locker room was like, "Did you really do that?" "Oh yeah, I did that. Of course. Why wouldn't I?"
Yeah, the G stood for glamorous. Just we're saying here. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'm wearing my ex-wife's shirt underneath that green shirt. Yeah, it was hideous, but yeah,
it probably worked better.
Well, probably, yeah. I'll never forget breaking up a fight in that outfit in the locker room. That was the highlight in that outfit.
Was that the one between a promoter and a mutual friend?
Yes, and here I am with my Daisy Duke shorts on, and all of a sudden they both just start laughing because I'm breaking up a fight in Daisy Duke shorts. So I'm glad I could referee that one.
Oh my gosh! Well, as long as everything stood intact, I guess no harm done. I guess, right?
Things we get talked into.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. Well.
I got put in the overalls at one time too. So okay, let's not even go there.
Oh yeah. Well.
Yeah. It happened.
Oh, let's see. So. Just based on your opinion, because I'm taking questions inside the chat room as well. Do you think independent wrestling is going to thrive again? Do you think the indie scene is going to thrive again?
Oh yeah, I firmly believe that. I believe once all this COVID-19 stuff is over and done with, but God, I hope so soon. I believe people are just tired of sitting in their house. They want to see action. I believe once things open up here in Missouri and on the other side of the river in Illinois, I think we're going to have sellout crowds. I think people are hungry for a different product than they see on TV. The WWE is boring right now. There's no fans. They have plexiglass around the ring. It looks stupid. I can't even bring myself to watch it anymore. So people want to see something different, and they're going to come out and they're going to watch independent wrestling, I guarantee. Because independent wrestling was on the upswing, if you guys remember, right before this COVID-19 hit. Man, sellout crowds and all that stuff, we were on the upswing. I believe once it's over, we're going to be right back where we were.
Oh yeah, I think so too. And yeah, I use WWE to kind of help me when I set for bed for the night. I use it for ambience so I can get to sleep faster, and by God, it works. So
He watches his own stuff. That's what puts him to sleep.
no, gosh, yeah, I don't need to be on TV, man. I don't know. It'd be nice to be on TV, but I don't think not in that aspect. But yeah, but I really hope so too. And I'll get to one of the other questions here later. But what I want to do here is let's see. Okay, so
Number 8.
well, yeah. Kind of merging 8 and 9 together here. So, because we kind of already talked about your dad at the beginning of this, and how would it, he thought you were crazy getting into it, but he still pretty much backed you up, though. Once he knew that you were able to handle the training, you went through your tours, you came back, you were still doing it. I mean, was your dad pretty much behind you as a wrestler at that point?
Yeah, boy, was he behind me. He went to every show. Actually, he got kicked out of a couple shows. My dad thought it was real up until the day he died, or at least he gave me that perception that he thought it was real. So I remember I was wrestling Lunatic Max, and we go out in the crowd, and Lunatic Max is he grabs me by the throat, and he's like beating me up, and I see coming up behind Lunatic Max, my dad, and he's just pushing fans out of the way. I'm like, oh my God, what is he doing? Next thing I know, he has his cane. And he goes to hit Lunatic Max with the cane. And the Scooby's like, no, sir, no, sir. And I took over on Max at that point because I was like, oh, I gotta get my dad out of here. So I hit Max a few times, and I look at Pop, and I go, Pop, what are you doing? And he goes, he was about to kill you. I was going to help you. I was like, sit down. So, he went outside at that point. I think security escorted him out. He would get heated at these shows. And he just thought that anytime I was in the ring, those guys were trying to kill me. And, but my dad was so proud of what I accomplished when I won my first tag team title with Trevor Rhodes. I brought it home, and he was just so proud of that. And every time I won a championship, because it was a big thing to him, because he thought that I actually won the shit. You know what I'm saying? So I would bring it to him, and he was like, "Wow, that's great. You did a great job." But my dad always hated it when I was a heel. When I was a bad guy, he'd go, "I don't understand why you got to be that way, son. You're better than that."
Right. Well,
so I can only imagine what my dad would think right now with the Butcher.
Oh yeah, exactly. So like I said, kind of segueing with your dad. He did pass away over 5 years ago, and after that, shortly after, World Powerhouse Wrestling established the William J. Talley Memorial Battle Royal. And then, of course, it became an annual event every winter. Even through this year, they still had it before the whole COVID situation hit. So how much does that mean to you and your family that WPW keeps remembering your dad with this event?
It means the world to me. And sadly, I wasn't able to do this Battle Royal this last time. I was there to see Sid Holland win the Battle Royal because I was booked on another show, but I booked it over there and saw Sid Holland win that plaque, and that means the world to me. Xavier Frost, that was his brainchild to do that. because he loves my family, and my mom always gives the plaque away every year. It's a big deal to her, huge deal for my family, and they hold such a special place in my heart. They don't even know how much I care for them and love them because of honoring my dad like that. It's just amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, and that's just awesome that that Xavier Frost would think of something like that, and to carry on the with that, and it's I mean, it's a great honor to have, and they kind of tie it in to kind of like, I guess like with their with WPW's like one of bigger events in the spring, I guess, kind of pushing them that they would get like a title shot or something, kind of where it still means something, and it's kind of interesting, and also great interest on how that battle royal. So now, I mean, so you've had 6 battle royals under the belt, and I can't wait for 2021. I'll definitely throw my name in the hat again to see how I do. And I know that your mom was also, your mom is also very instrumental in still to this day, especially with that battle royal, and God love your mom, man. Yeah, she's probably one of the sweetest ladies that I ever know. And
you know what's cool about that battle royal is like the wrestlers are excited about the battle royal, and that makes me so proud that the wrestlers are excited to be in that. And my mom every year goes, "Man, I really hope Rough Cut Rick Ruby wins this year." She told me every year. She tells me that. So you gotta win that, Ruby. You gotta get in there and put some people on the top rope, buddy. Like, because you're gonna get the biggest pop from my mom when that happens.
Yeah, I keep getting bad draws, so I think I'm blaming that. I'm not really good because obviously, if I was good with picking numbers, I'd probably be on a secluded island somewhere, not talking to anybody with a whole buttload of cash. So I think that's probably. I mean, when you think about it, it's like
right.
You're like, "Howdy, guys."
Speaking of your mother, I still have a cool grand bet that she would win a match against Al Bundy. I will see that thing, and I could think she could take his ass down in a heartbeat.
Oh, I think she could too. I mean, it's Al Bundy.
Get right on. Yeah, she could hop right on her Hoover round and get out of there.
Man, let me tell you a story about my mom's Hoover round. All right. So we go to Branson on vacation about 4 weeks ago or so for a little weekend getaway. So I take this little Hoover round with hers down there. So we get it, we get settled in the hotel. Next day, we decide to go out to this place called Wonderworks. I get out of the car. I go and get the Hoover round out. And she goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "Well, I'm going to get this out so you can ride it in there so you don't have to walk." And she goes, "I didn't bring the key with me." I go, "What? You didn't bring the key with you?" She goes, "No, I left it at the hotel." I'm like, "Mom, like, why would you leave it at the hotel?" "I don't know. I guess maybe I need to give you a spare." "Yeah, I think so. If you're going to leave the key in the hotel room, this just makes this thing utterly useful now. Like, it's useless." So, yeah. God bless my mom. She's the greatest person. She's one of those people, and I tell this story all the time, that she can see the best in anyone. She would look at Jeffrey Dahmer and go, "Oh, I know he murdered people and he ate them, but man, he made really good soup." She's that person. Like some of the worst people in the world. Like, she will walk into a living room and go, I kid you not, she does that. Like it was the best soup I ever ate. Like, oh, she's such a great woman. Like, she sees no flaws in anyone. Like, and it's to her detriment sometimes. Like, Mom, like, you got to see that there's bad people in this world. and she just don't get it. And I wish everybody in the world was more like her, to where they saw the good in people, and just wanted to be everybody's friend. And
what has she
man,
saw good in Al Bundy though?
I think Al Bundy just keeps her blood pressure up, and I think she enjoys the banter back and forth that they do. So I think that's the good she sees in him. That he gives her free T-shirts all the time.
There you go. Oh wow. Yeah, I mean, so a couple years after the Battle Royal, I think it was like the beginning of 2017. You suffered an injury that, ironically, was a DDT. I think that you thought at that point it was the end of your career. You kind of stepped down, because your neck was kind of bad. During that time, you worked hard. You kept keeping yourself in shape. You dropped weight, so obviously, I mean, you made an in-ring return. So what moment through all of that, by the time you retired and by the time you came back, what moment made you decide to come out of retirement and get back into the ring?
Well, honestly, that DDT was the best thing that ever happened to me, because it made me see that something needed to be changed. I thought my wrestling career was done. I talked to the doctor, and he was like, yeah, you should probably never get back in the ring. And I remember coming home and looking at my wife, looking at my kid, and going, man, I need to make a change. Because that's a lot. I was 360 pounds. So that was a lot of weight coming down on my neck. And I kept thinking to myself, man, if I didn't weigh 360 pounds, I may have been okay in that fall. So a lot of people don't like to talk about their personal stuff and whatnot, and they're quiet about it. But I'm proud to say that I took the step and I had bariatric surgery because I needed to change my life. A lot of people think it's a cure-all, or you took the easy way out, and it's not that way. I literally lost 60 pounds before my surgery. I went in the surgery at 300 pounds. So I literally lost more weight before the surgery than after the surgery. So it was just a tool that I needed to get the ball rolling and getting healthy again. And as I lost weight, man, my body started feeling so much better. I started going to the gym. I started working out. And, right now I'm in the best shape that I've ever been in my wrestling career. So it was kind of a godsend that happened because it changed my focus and getting healthy. So a lot of people might look at it as, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. And things happen in the ring. It's not ballet. Accidents happen. I was just as much fault as the other guy was. You get moving too fast, and that's what happens. So, I started feeling really good, and I went and talked to my doctor, and I was like, hey, I've lost all this weight. I feel really good. All right. He's like, how's your neck feel? I'm like, man, it feels great. He's like, well, I'm not seeing a reason why you couldn't. So I was like, sweet. And then I had to, tell the wife, break the news to her. And, because I told her, I'm like, I'm done. I'm not wrestling anymore. And, she has been very supportive. I actually thought that, it would be a thing of contention between us, but she's been super supportive. She goes to the shows and sells my merchandise, and, is always supportive, hey, if you come to the gym, check out this new recipe, or, very supportive of me staying healthy and getting back into wrestling. So, she's just been so helpful in that.
Nice. Yeah. So you make a return, you get, there was a butcher look before, but then when you came back, there was a different look to the butcher and a more, I don't know if the word sadistic kind of fits into that play, but definitely definitely more of a psychological feel of the butcher with mind games. And, I think I don't know. I think I'm just tempted to see what the butcher would say. Maybe I need to go visit the butcher here. Is there any way we can get the actual butcher to come out and kind of talk to us for a bit, maybe?
Well, it just so happens that I got to walk downstairs to the butcher shop and wake him up and, see if he really wants to talk to you guys. He's kind of cranky in his old age, but let me see if he's around. Hey, you awake down there? Well, hello. Is this Rough Cut Rich Ruby and Mr. DP?
Why,
English.
It is.
Why, this is the butcher. It is so very nice to see you, gentlemen, this evening.
Well, nice to finally talk to the butcher. Thanks for taking time to stop cleaning up the kill floor per se and joining us. So let me ask you here, Butcher. Do you think this particular Butcher is the one that puts Damian Blade on the map as one of the most unique personalities in Midwest professional wrestling?
Oh, yes, I am the most unique personality in all of the world. You see, it's not just the St. Louis area. I am here to conquer the world, Rough Cut Rick Ruby. You see, 2020 may have been the year, but let me tell you, 2021 will be the year of the swine flu.
All right. Do you have any, is there any targets that you're looking for to add to your kill floor then?
Oh, there are so many that I want to add to my kill floor. One of them being, Mr. Ricky Cruz. I can't wait, Ricky Cruz, to go one-on-one with you. Oh, and then that scoundrel himself down at MNWA, that disgusting backwards idiot. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Frankie D. Oh, I can't wait to put him on my kill floor as well. Oh, there's so many. I'm lining them up, and I'm going to put them down, Mr. Ruby.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. So you have a big 2021 planned out. And while you've been out of the ring with everybody else here dealing with this whole situation, you've been keeping busy. So what does a butcher do to keep busy when he's not inside the ring competing?
Oh, the butcher keeps busy. I smoke the finest cigars, and I drink the finest bourbon that I can find. And I sit on my kill floor in my beautiful recliner, and I think of ways that I'm going to torture people like Ricky Cruz and Frankie D and everyone that stands in my way. And then I sneak out late at night, and I find victims to bring to my kill floor until I can be back into the ring.
Well, I will say though this
he's killing more than COVID.
Nah, right? Yeah, I would say that.
My death percentage is way higher than COVID-19.
Right. If you do ever make my way, though, Butcher, I will say that I do have a good kryptonite here for you with a single barrel selection of Jack Daniel's whiskey, waiting to be broken open. And trust me, if you come up knocking at my door, I guess I have no choice but to open the bottle and share it. Share a drink or two.
I will knock on your door. Me and Sweet Bernice will knock on your door. We will have a nice shot of whiskey together. But one of us will not leave the same, Mr. Ruby.
Okay, well then, then I'll just be without a bottle of whiskey. I can do without it. You can take it. It's okay. Just don't leave it. Don't trash my house. So that's all I'm asking. Oh my goodness!
Might want to leave it on your back porch.
Oh, okay, all right. So, Butcher. There is actually a question up here in the chat room. Um, has the butcher ever thought about teaching in the business of professional wrestling, like mentoring others, maybe to maybe guide in your ways, whether it be what you can bring to the table as maybe putting people underneath your wing as maybe training them somehow?
Oh, absolutely. I have thought of that. Ring presence is a must in this business. And we are taught how to take moves and all this stuff, but no one teaches us ring presence or how to come through the entrance way and have the people cheer you. I can do that. I can show them how to be a star, because you can do great things in the ring, but when you walk through that curtain, if it's chirping silence, then you've done something wrong. When you walk through that curtain, they better be chanting your name like they do the butcher every single night.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I mean, I know that the butcher has a lot, would have a lot to teach young individuals who are just trying to get into this business, and who hopefully not leaving them on the kill floor. That's made for the slaughter. That's made for the slaughterhouse, I would think. Leave the
Do you know who I want to leave on my kill floor right now?
who?
That is that vile, disgusting Mr. DQ. I see that you have that little pig on your couch trying to make fun of me. Guess what? I don't find it funny, and I'm going to seek you out.
Oh,
You better run. You better run like you've never run before, because the butcher's coming after you, Mr. DQ.
GQ, I told you thought it was going to be repellent, man. It just only attracted you more. He sees you. See, you never know where the butcher's lurking and walking and looking in on our feed, man. So, I think Mr. GQ kind of went off to the side a little bit, and he took his little pig with him. So I guess no bacon on that here for the butcher, or at least for that little pig. I guess he lives to see another day, huh?
I guess so.
All right, Butcher, it was, I do thank you for taking the time to kind of step away from your kill floor. I know you've got some more work to do. I'll tell you what, let me see about if I can get back to Damian Blade and see if maybe I can ask him another more question or two, and hopefully he's there.
Well, you'll have to wait 1 second, because he is mopping up some blood at the moment. But let me see that he's available.
Okay.
All right. Well, it's a tough job mopping up blood.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It seems to never come up. It just swirls around in circles and circles and circles.
Oh, yeah. Hold on a second here. Yeah, you scared. Well, I'm trying to get Mr. GQ back, but apparently we've lost him. Okay. Hey, GQ, if you can hear me, he's no, yeah, GQ, you're good, man. Stop being a scaredy cat. It's all right. Oh my God. Yeah, we'll finish up here with maybe a question or two. I'll make sure there's nothing else here in the chat room. For those who are watching in the chat room, let's see. Did I stop again? Hopefully I didn't stop in the live feed. GQ, check. See if your producer's still watching on the Facebook feed. See if that's still going. Hold on. I think I'm getting something here. No sound again. No sound. Okay. Well, doggone it. Yeah, we're cutting in and out again. Well, like I said, I guess we'll just have to finish this up here. Let me see if I can refresh here. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Oh, I don't know. I thought YouTube was going. Oh my goodness. All right. So, Mr. Blade,
You're going to have to answer to the butcher, not me this time. That's all you messed up now.
I think I'm blaming you bringing that freaking stupid Minecraft pig You thought it was going to be a repellent. He saw that. And you think he's going to say, "Oh, nice little piggy, let me have it as a pet," and you think it was going to have anything to do with it? Come on, GQ. You got to be smarter than that. Got to be smarter than that.
It was kind of a dumb idea because, like, I live with that thing. So he's going to punish me for your sins, GQ. Way to go.